There were some big clouds coming over when I ventured up the hill. Not many birds were calling, but amongst the ones that were, I heard the low, drab whistle of a bullfinch. The dog had done her business, eaten some sticky bobs, and sat quite happily at my feet. Lens cap was off, camera poised ready. We stayed stock still in the lay-by, and I looked out over the fresh, tall bracken. There was a flutter of wings, and then a jogger went by. All bird life vanished. So we moved on. The verges had been mowed, and it was a little sad to think that all those spring plants were no more, and summer was marching on. Would I see the bullfinches crisscrossing over the road in search of seed again? The big clouds provided some beautiful bright patches across the landscape. Under the tunnel of tall trees all was quiet, not even a goldcrest searching the tall pines. Then I heard the familiar sound of an adult wren, but even she was camera shy and stayed hidden. The path through the wood was also quiet. Even the rank-smelling stinkhorns had gone. The meadow, now cropped like a football pitch, did provide some interest. A lone rabbit huddled near the bramble patch, and a missel thrush flew silently to a hawthorn tree. I zoomed in and got a couple of pics. It was an adult bird with a beak full of earthworms, which explained its silence. As we crossed the stile and entered the field, it flew off. It was good to see some butterflies braving the blustery wind, ringlets and gatekeepers. Once again there seemed to be several seven-spot ladybirds, holding tightly onto grass seed heads that were getting vigorously buffeted in the breeze. Over the next stile, the narrow path was made even narrower by the bracken. There were fewer bees about. The old track was alive to the sound of squabbling goldfinches. I tucked in under a big hawthorn and watched as they appeared on top of the next tree. They angrily flew at each other, and one would occasionally fly to a nearby overhead cable where it fanned its tail as it called. My dog got bored and wandered on. The birds flew off noisily. The honeysuckle scent was a bit more subdued. The overwhelming scent was now bracken. There was barely enough blue in the sky to make a sailor a pair of trousers, so we headed for home. People were walking towards us on the Havard Road, and they disturbed the wren. It flew to the fence on the edge of the meadow, and I managed to get some pics. Just beyond Plas Havard, there was a flurry of activity in the wood. Blackbirds, song thrushes, and a range of smaller birds were giving their alarm calls, the sure sign of a predator. I stood and waited, and quite soon a rush of wings clattered as a buzzard noisily took off. Immediately it broke cover and drifted overhead and out across the fields. The alarm calls stopped. The now short verges provided easier hunting for a dunnock, who obliged me a few shots. It was lovely to meet people and chat about the countryside and photography, but it was tea time, so we headed down the hill to home.